So today's video, I want to be guiding you guys through the importance of prompt engineering when building AI systems and workflows. I'm going to be going through the reactive prompt engineering guide that I made. And if you guys want access to this, then just head over to my description, and in my free school community, I'll have a downloadable link to this file. So by the end of this video, I want you guys to be able to understand the term prompt engineering and the importance of it. Also, we're aiming to develop a structured approach to reactive prompt engineering when building AI agents. And lastly, we're just going to be learning the essentials and components of prompt engineering itself. So what is prompt engineering, you might ask? So when you're writing a system prompt for an AI agent, you're coding the agent using a natural language text instead of a program language, for example, Python or JavaScript. So what this means is that you're speaking to the AI agent like it's another human being by using natural language text. For example, how I'm talking right now, this is how you'd be talking to the AI agent. You'd be giving a clear set of instructions in a human-like readable way, and we call this natural language text, rather than using something like Python where it's only understood by computers and not by humans. So yeah, like I just said, a strong system prompt defines a clear, precise, and consistent behavior for the AI agent. So the AI agent will have a clear goal and clear instructions that you give it based on the prompts that you've written. And I've just included an example here. So you're an AI scheduler that helps users organize their day efficiently. Your goal is to help users break down their tasks, prioritize what's important, and create a realistic schedule. So you can see here that I'm very clearly just speaking to the AI agent like I'm speaking to another human being. I've given it a clear task and clear instructions to what it has to do. I've also told it that it's an AI scheduler, so I've given it a role so it knows what purpose it has to play. So now we're going to talk about why prompt engineering actually matters. AI agents run autonomously. They're not designed for back and forth interactions like ChatGPT. So unlike chatbots, which require user input before receiving an output, AI agents run autonomously, meaning that a workflow will run on its own without any sort of user input required. So what this means is that if the instructions in the prompt are unclear to the agent, you might not necessarily receive the expected output. So yeah, your objective is to craft the prompt correctly from the start so that the agent performs as intended every time it runs. So yeah, like I've just said, you just want to be very clear of the instructions so that you can receive a perfect output that doesn't require any further tweaking later on. So now we're going to talk about the differences between proactive and reactive prompt engineering. So we're going to start with proactive, and proactive means writing a long, detailed prompt up front and then testing it out. Except you don't know all the possible errors, and debugging also becomes hard. So this is linking back to what I've said earlier, in the sense that if you spend so much time writing a really long prompt and you haven't specifically set clear instructions for the AI agent, you might get an output that you're not happy with, and then you're going to have to go back and edit that prompt each time until you get the perfect output. Like it says here also, you don't know what sort of errors to expect, so you might write the prompt and then all of a sudden you're hit with a bunch of errors, and then it can become time consuming trying to fix the errors, and yeah, it's just not a good process to be doing. On the other hand now, reactive prompting. Start small, run, observe errors, and fix only what breaks. Easier debugging, more efficient testing, and prevents overcomplicated prompts. So what this means is that you're starting with a small prompt, small and concise, and you're just getting the agent to understand its role, its purpose, and what it has to do. And the benefits of reactive prompt engineering is that you'll only ever come across very minimal errors, and they'll be very easy to fix, and it won't be very time consuming. So now we're going to look at a step-by-step guide on how to create the perfect prompt. So we're going to start with one, which is begin with a minimal prompt. Connect a single tool and confirm that the agent can use it properly. Now the second step is to iterate from failure, which means when errors appear, add precise rules that stop the agent from misusing the tool. So this basically just means that once you finish with the prompt, you're going to run it so that you can see how the agent understands it. If the agent struggles to understand it, you'll receive errors, and then you'll know that all you have to do is just tweak something in the prompt. So the third step now is to clarify with examples, meaning you will include concrete examples for edge cases or tricky situations. You want the agent to have a clear understanding of how you want the output. So you could do this by providing an example. So you can get an example of how you want the output to look like. Now the fourth step is to fix one issue at a time. So similarly to earlier, like we explained, make a single change per test so that you can isolate its effect. You don't want to be overloaded with a bunch of errors and then feel like you have to change the whole prompt. Instead, you just write bits at a time, and then along the way you'll figure out whether there's errors or not. Now the last step is to scale gradually. Introduce additional tools one at a time and repeat the test to fix cycle. So again, you don't want to overload the agent, and because that could cause errors and that could affect your prompt. So now I'm going to talk you through the way I like to structure my prompts. So I like to start with an overview, a role or a purpose. So who the agent is and what it must achieve. So the next section is the tools, which is a list of available tools for the agent and when to use them. So you're basically telling the agent what it's good at doing so that it knows and understands how to perform the tasks. Now the next section is the specific section, or the rules, which is the specific operational rules and order of operations. So now you're giving the agent a formula, a way to perform the task. Now next we have the examples, and this section is very important. And the section shows sample inputs and expected outputs. So you're providing the agent with 2 to 3 key examples of how you want the output to be shown, so that it understands exactly how to write it. Now lastly, you have the final note section, if needed, which isn't always required, but might include something like rate limits, current date placeholders, formatting requirements, etc. So this could just be any extra information that you forgot to explain in the specific section, for example, so the agent knows to include something or to not include something. So now I'm going to show you guys a mini example of the structure format. So we have the overview here, which is you're an automated email writer agent. You'll be writing and sending emails to clients and company owners. So I'm just making it clear to the agent here its responsibility and what it has to do. Now the next section I've written here is a tools section. So you are an expert in structuring and forming emails. And also you are proficient in correct spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So I'm just explaining to the agent what it's good at, so that it understands and it thinks that now it has tools to use in the prompt. And for the next section, I have the specifics, which just says maintain a professional tone, but don't use excessive jargon that looks unnatural. So again, I'm just making it clear to the agent that I want the email written in a specific way. Otherwise, if I don't specify this, the email might be written in a way that the agent wants it in, but I don't want it in. And here's just an example so that the agent understands how I want the email to be written. Hi, client name. Welcome to company name. I'd love to get you fully on board so we can start building out your workflows. When you're ready, just reply with a good time and a quick call, or use the link below to book a slot. Looking forward to getting you set up. Your name, company name. Lastly, I've just added a small note so that it knows not to include anything other than the email itself. For example, here's your email. So sometimes the agent might include additional text that I don't want to be included in the email, because then people might suspect that it was written by AI. So now I was going to go through a couple output and format tips. So just remember to define a clear output format, HTML, JSON, Markdown, if the agent must produce machine readable outputs. Yeah, so it's very important to specify what format you want the output in, because the agent might not necessarily know which one you want. In addition, just always remember to include an example output for complicated tasks, and remember to start small, test, observe, and iterate. Now lastly, just as some final tips, remember to start with a bare minimum prompt, because you want to be able to solve errors on the fly. You don't want to have to deal with a bunch of errors at the end with such a large prompt, because this can become time consuming and this can affect your work. Just to add to that, when you're in error, add one rule or example targets in the error. Keep changes small and test after each change. Make yourself used to writing in Markdown format, like I just showed you above. So this is Markdown when you have the headers like this. And then lastly, document tools and examples in the prompt. So we're going to be in NAN now, and I'm going to show you guys just how you can create simple and effective prompts. So we're not going to be doing a full workflow, but we're just going to be making the prompt itself. So we're going to just start by dragging in a AI agent to start. Now we're just going to click connect a model before we begin, and we're just going to be using Gemini 2.5 Flash here because it's free and doesn't require any tokens or API setup. Once our model's connected, we're just going to open this back up, and we're going to go for define below so we can write our own prompt. And then we're just going to change this to expression here, and then we're going to pop this out bigger so we can see it. So we're going to create a prompt for an email writer agent. So let's just start with the overview. And we're going to say you are an email writing agent. Now we're just going to write the tools section. So we're just going to say tools, and we're going to say you are skilled in writing emails. Next, we're going to write a specific section. And we're just going to say, ensure that the email is in the correct format. Now for the example section, and I'm just going to create an AI generated example just to save time for this video. So we've got an example here, and now we're just going to add a couple of notes, and we're just going to say, ensure that the email isn't, so we'll say doesn't exceed, say 200 words. Okay, so now that our prompt is finished, we're just going to give it a run and see what kind of output we get. So we're just going to say here, can you write me an email? So we've got our output now, and it says, okay, I'm ready. Please provide me with the details for the email you'd like me to write. I will ensure it's in the correct format on 200 words. So we can see this is an error because in the output here, we're supposed to have a full email written for us, but the AI doesn't understand how we want the email written. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the AI agent here, and we're just going to change a few things. So I've just changed a few things here in the prompt. I've changed the overview to, you are a professional email writing agent for potential clients and businesses. I've just included a couple tools as well. I've just said, you are an expert at cold outreach and you are fluent in spelling, punctuation, and grammar. I've changed a specific section slightly to say, ensure that the email is sectioned to provide clarity to the reader. I've left the examples the same, and for notes, I've just said, ensure that the email doesn't exceed 200 words, same as before, and I've said, replace your name, which is here, with Harris, and replace client name with David. So I've just added more detail to the prompt to give the AI more of an understanding of what kind of output I want to expect. So we're going to give this workflow a second try. We're just going to say, can you write an email, please? So now it's finished, and we could just open the AI agent here. And yeah, look, we can see we've got a full email now. It says, hi David, hope you're doing well. I'm reaching out because I work in businesses to streamline and automate their daily processes, and I thought your company might benefit from one of those tools we built. Our aim is to simplify complex tasks and boost overall efficiency. If you're open to it, I'd love to share a quick overview and to see if there's any way that we could simplify some of your current tasks and contribute to your team's productivity. Would you be available for a short call this week to explore this further? Best, Harris. So you can see that now that we've added more detail to the prompt, the AI understands exactly what we wanted to see. And you guys can see here that the output is very strong and it fits the exact prompt that we wrote earlier. And because we added all these extra details, it really made a difference. And you guys can see that before in the original prompt, when we ran it, the output was failing and we weren't receiving an email. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more tips and tricks and workflows like this, just feel free to like the video, comment in the section down below what you want to see, and also don't forget to check out my free school community, which will be in the link in the description, where we do more of this, and I'll have downloadable workflows there that you can download and use. And yeah, if you guys enjoy this, like, subscribe, and see you soon.